I got to where I am by hard work, education, and experience, by bringing my skills and my hard work to the labour market. Knowledge work, cognitive labour.
What was life like before you became an entrepreneur?
I can't remember. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Piers Linney is a serial entrepreneur, investor, podcaster, and former Dragon on BBC TV's Dragon's Den. He's also the co-founder of Implement AI, helping SMEs navigate the fast-evolving world of artificial intelligence, and he's been named one of the UK's top 100 most influential Black Britons.
How do you strategically set up your business to be AI first? That is where you should be heading towards, not tweaking the business operations that you have. What does it look like AI first, where I can use this technology to augment myself, my team, and do things that humans just can't do?
Welcome to Screw It, Just Do It, the show for those who decided to screw it and just did it. I'm Alex Chisnall, host of this podcast and co-founder of the Festival of Entrepreneurs at the NEC in Birmingham this October 8th and 9th. This is the podcast that brings you face-to-face with the entrepreneurs and business rebels who threw caution to the wind and built something extraordinary. Want to surround yourself with 5,000 to 10,000 entrepreneurs who've already decided to screw it and just do it? The Festival of Entrepreneurs is happening October the 8th and 9th at the NEC Birmingham, and I'm giving away free 2-day passes to my listeners. 200 plus speakers, 90 plus sessions, billion-pound entrepreneurs sharing their real stories, not theory, but the actual strategies they use to scale. Head to festivalofentrepreneurs.co.uk right now and claim your free pass, because the best networking happens when you're in the room with people who've already decided to screw it and just did it.
Can you remember when you first became interested in AI and the future and decided, I'm actually going to go all in on this? I'm going to start a business about this.
Well, yeah. So I've always been interested in the book, I can't remember who it was by, called The New Thing, right? So the latest technology. So it was, it was the internet, obviously, and computers. Everybody was. And then for me, it was like cloud. So I was involved in cloud technology when that kind of came around. And the thing about cloud is another really important point, right? So I gave a keynote. I do quite a few keynotes. I gave a keynote about 18 months ago. Big room full of people. Why the financial services sector should transition to the cloud. Don't tell them this, but I actually used the same notes from a keynote I gave 8 years ago. All right? Yeah, just change the names to protect the innocent. That's not happening in AI, right? I do presentations now where I have to update my slides every month because what's in them is out of date, right? So in AI, that's not good. So that excites me. So I was in cloud. Now I'm a co-founder, chairman of Atherton Bikes. So Atherton Bikes, yeah, it's a mountain bike
interviewed
company.
them on the podcast, yeah.
You have done, yeah. So, probably the most innovative, I think one of the most innovative mountain bike business company in the world. We make mountain bikes with lasers in Wales in the UK. And that's 3D printed titanium. So these are exponential technologies, okay? So cloud, additive manufacturing, and AI really, to me, it kind of brings it all together for me. So I met my co-founder, Dr. Alok Shukla, on a podcast I did for a bank in the UK about, it must be 5-6 years ago now. And we kind of stayed in touch. And then he had a business in sort of a health tech business. And then about 2020, late 22, I think, when the sort of GPTs arrived, we were talking about AI, and he was doing something AI and kind of education sort of related AI. And my background is very much, most of my background has been in the channel, in the little things like Microsoft channel, selling IT infrastructure, really. Not my background really is not software as a service. I've invested in lots of those companies, but it's more been in sort of, IT infrastructure, cloud. So we've talking about, I thought, there's a big opportunity here, but where do you place your bets? And this is if you're an entrepreneur thinking about AI, you've got to think very hard about this. Every day, there are 10, 15, 100 AI startups where they wake up, they read the news, and they've been disrupted. There were several companies, wherever you put this podcast out, last week, right, they were developing AI so you could, take a picture of your body and put clothes on so you can see what you're going to wear. Google just launched it. So we were kind of like, well, where do you get onto this pitch to kick the ball around? I always say, if you're not on the pitch kicking the ball about, you're not going to score goals, are you? So I was kind of like, this is the biggest wave that's ever, there's the book by Mustafa Suleyman, I read that, The Coming Wave. It's the biggest wave that ever experience in my life, how do you paddle into it? Do you invest in it? Do you start a business? So we kind of looked at it and thought, it's the gold rush adage. Don't pan for gold, sell shovels.
If you're enjoying this conversation and thinking, I need to be around more people like this, then I've got the perfect solution for you. The Festival of Entrepreneurs is where 5,000 to 10,000 ambitious entrepreneurs come together to learn from the people who've actually done it. It's on October the 8th and 9th at the NEC in Birmingham, and I'm giving my listeners free 2-day passes. Real entrepreneurs, real stories, real strategies. Exactly like what you're hearing right now, but live and in person. Go to festivalofentrepreneurs.co.uk and get your free 2-day pass before they're gone.
So, and it's gone a bit beyond that now, because we're not just selling shovels now. We're probably building the machines that make the shovels.
Yeah.
So we looked at it and thought, okay, let's get on the pitch. So this is now early 2023. We just had an event, just put it out on LinkedIn, an event about AI. People turned up. Now, I knew a little bit about, it was machine learning really, because I was a trustee of Nesta, the UK's largest innovation foundation. It's about 600 million foundation. Did a lot of research on the impact of automation on the economy. So, for example, call centers, right? Call centers, they're going away. They're going to dematerialize and go to the cloud, unless it's high value, it's vulnerable, a high value sale, a vulnerable person perhaps, or some other sort of edge reason for it to be a human on the phone. Apart from that, they're going to dematerialize. That's 1 million jobs in the UK.
And look at other countries, it's got to be millions and millions.
Well, if you're in a country where you are a low labour knowledge work economy, right, that competitive advantage is also going away. So we looked at and thought, how do you get onto this pitch? So we started doing almost like consulting about AI, talking about it, how it's going to impact businesses. And people said to us, well, that's great. Can we see it? So we started doing pilots. So we did these pilots, right? And they weren't called AI agents then. They were just pilots of AI stuff. Automations, we call it. And it's all a bit consultative. So we're doing these kind of individual pilots, like silos of code. And people were kind of like blown away. Because what happens is, you're not sure about AI. You see it do something, and then all the lights go on. You're like, oh goodness, that's nuts. So all the lights start going on. Oh, okay, we could do this, that, or that. So we realize actually, if you're doing that, is where are the pain points in, businesses. Our business, our kind of ideal customer profile, probably a company with maybe more than 20 people, 10 if they really want to become AI first, but they want to invest some money in it. And they've got people, processes, workflows, data, systems, multi-offices. And then you start to look at it and say, well, how do you scale it? So you can't scale individual bits of code. A lot of people on the internet talking about, an AI agency, just creating these automations on no-code platforms or building them. Right? How do you integrate that? How do you support it? How do you grow it across a business? So we thought a lot of AI companies, these are vertical AIs, that does email, it's your PA, does one thing. I think, they're growing very quickly, raising lots of money. But I think the danger there is you wake up one morning and, Gmail does that. In fact, you will wake up one morning and Gmail does that, or Microsoft Copilot 365, pull the finger out, and that does that as well. So we thought, actually, it's better to be sort of horizontal. So we're sort of horizontal. So we built a platform, we call it AI operating system. And the AI agent, sort of sales, customer success, support, operational excellence, and analytics. We're building a computer use agent that can use a mouse and keyboard. Let's think about that for a minute, where that one's going. So in a business, the idea is you deploy one agent, or maybe two, or maybe even three that work together in a team. They add value. And over time, you expand it. Now, they can all talk to each other. They've all got shared memory. They can use tools like phones, email, WhatsApp, SMS, and we call it agentic CRM. All those conversations, especially on phones, you're saving that conversational data, and you can then use that in your marketing. Standard CRMs don't do that. So we've kind of built this thing, and now it's a question of moving to recurring revenue and scaling it. But I think it's super exciting, but it is tiring because it moves so quickly. But so we're more in the complexity, Alex, where a business is kind of like, well, I want to do that. And you've got, people, process, integration, accreditations, data integrations. It's not as simple as just firing up some agent and it goes and runs your business. As you know, in business, they're just not it's not as simple as that.
That conversation just proves something. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So here's my challenge. Upgrade your network. The Festival of Entrepreneurs is happening October the 8th and 9th, and I'm giving my listeners free 2-day passes to get in the room with 5,000 to 10,000 entrepreneurs who are actually building something. This is where the risk takers, the game changers, and the people who've decided to screw it and just do it come for inspiration, education, and connection. Don't just listen to their success stories, go meet the people living them. Grab your free pass now, because the biggest risk isn't taking a chance, it's missing the opportunity entirely. If this conversation resonated with you, don't just sit there, act on it. Make sure you follow or subscribe for more game-changing conversations, and remember, the only thing standing between you and your business breakthrough is the decision to screw it and just do it.